Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to look at the special counsel's report on Biden's mishandling of classified documents. And I can tell you there's one thing the report did not say.
A firm conclusion. I did not break the law.
I don't believe you.
This is special counsel Robert Hur's report on Joe Biden's handling of classified materials. I've read it. It's 388 pages. I highly encourage you to read it so that you'll know exactly what's going on and not listening to whatever the news media outlets are trying to tell you. We're also going to look at the press conference that Joe gave concerning this report, and we're going to look at a few excerpts from the report. So without further ado, let's listen to some of what Joe's got to say.
My willful retention of documents. These assertions are not only misleading, they're just plain wrong. On page 215, if you had a chance, I know it's a thick document. On page 215, the report of the special counsel found the exact opposite. Here's what he wrote. There is, in fact, a shortage of evidence that I willfully retained classified materials related to Afghanistan.
Joe's selective citation of the report is what's misleading. You don't have to look any further than the executive summary on page 1, which reads, our investigation uncovered evidence that President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency when he was a private citizen. These materials include 1, marked classified documents about military and foreign policy in Afghanistan, and 2, notebooks containing Mr. Biden's handwritten entries about issues of national security and foreign policy implicating sensitive intelligence sources and methods. Back to sentence 1. President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency when he was a private citizen.
On page 12, the special counsel also wrote, for in other documents, the decision to decline criminal charges was straightforward. The evidence suggests that Mr. Biden did not willfully retain these documents. The evidence said I did not willfully retain these documents.
Once again, this is a selective reading because on page 1, we can clearly see President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency when he was a private citizen. When questioned on the handling of classified materials,
do you take responsibility for at least being careless with classified material?
This is what you should hear Joe Biden say. I take full responsibility on how classified materials are handled in my office. But no, this is what Joe says.
I take responsibility for not having seen exactly what my staff was doing. My staff. I didn't have the responsibility to that. That was my staff was supposed to do that. My staff, I thought they were being moved to the archives. I thought all of us being moved.
We can see on page 53 that Mr. Biden knew or should have known that not everything was being moved. His staff did arrange his classified note cards and put them in a skiff. However, Mr. Biden held his notebooks close and his staff did not review them. After the administration, Mr. Biden brought his notebooks home with him and stored them in unsecured locations that were not authorized to store classified information, even though the notebooks, like the note cards, contained classified information. Further, on page 64, section F, this shows Biden's willful intent to conceal. And it reads, at the same time Mr. Biden's staff was considering how to handle the note cards, he told his ghostwriter that, quote, they didn't even know, end quote, he had notebooks containing similar classified notes. And page 83, section B, shows the nature of the highly classified information contained in those notebooks. Though none of the notebooks have classification markings, some of the notebooks contain information that remains classified up to the top secret, sensitive, compartmented information level. When questioned on sharing classified information with his ghostwriter, Mr. Biden had this to say.
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter?
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
But the special counsel said in the
Well, no,
report
he
that he
did not say that.
Okay.
He did not say that.
But Mr. President, one of the...
Let me answer your question.
He's an angry elf.
When we look at page 3 of the report, we can clearly see that Robert Hur determined that Mr. Biden shared information, including some classified information, from those notebooks with his ghostwriter. Now, the Afghanistan memo. Yep, you guessed it. Nothing to see here.
The fact of the matter is, what I didn't want repeated, I didn't want him to know, and I didn't read it to him, was I had written a long memorandum to President Obama why we should not be in Afghanistan. And I was of multiple pages. And so what I was referring to, I said classified. I should have said should be private because it was a contact between the president and the vice president as to what was going on. That's what he was referring to. It was not classified information in that document.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Page 116 shows in the early days of the Obama administration, there was a debate over American policy in Afghanistan. And this shows Biden strongly opposed the military's efforts to send large numbers of troops to Afghanistan. And this opposition culminated in the lengthy handwritten memo Mr. Biden sent President Obama over the Thanksgiving holiday in 2009. This is the memo Biden was just talking about. Page 122 of the report states, the handwritten memo, the same memo he was just talking about, was later found in Biden's home office in 2023, contains information that remains classified up to the secret level. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the free world.
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him I don't know. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. A lion, dog face, pony shoulder.
I got them. $1.9 trillion.
The destruction of this magnificent planet. This conference is one of the most important meetings.
I've already delivered the message to them. They know not to do anything.
17 days later.
3 U.S. soldiers were killed and many, many more injured.
Now remember, when you go to the polls this November, a vote for Joe is a vote for this.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. Peace out.